This week on No Cell Service, our hosts cover the supernatural psychological horror, Silent Hill. This content is intended for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised.
Happy anniversary.
Wow.
A year. This is our 52nd episode. We've been doing this shit for a year.
We started this and we were kind of like, we'll just do it and we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, I cornered you because I accidentally paid for a year for our hosting site, and I was like, "Hey, man, even if this sucks, we have to do it for a year." I just spent over $100 on a hosting site.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. Like we hammered into the work and just kind of like became a hobby, and we just kind of kept it going. And now we're here a year later, and everything's different.
Everything's different. We have a calendar for the entire rest of the year planned out just about, except for our holiday episodes that we need recommendations for. We have video. We have only on our subscription service called Stacked. It is linked in our link tree. Not Upstacked. That is a blogging site. Stacked is like Patreon, except they take less of a percentage away from creators, which I really enjoy. We're still getting details worked out there, and if it doesn't work, we are open to moving to Patreon, as everyone knows and loves that site, but we're just giving this a go.
Yeah.
It seems to be working well so far. We have one subscriber. Shout out Garbage Fire.
Shout out the homie.
We got the Discord up, which is free. We have some lock stuff that if you join our Stacked, you can get access to special rooms and voice channels and other things that we're going to start using here pretty soon. But we post on there about what book we're doing for the month. We're going to start doing polls on there. You can send your recommendations there. We're trying to be more active on our Discord. Yeah, we've got so much stuff going on since we first started this.
Yeah. Even like just in life, everything's different.
I have a new job. You're a dad.
Not yet.
You're loading dad.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we'll see what happens, but
your baby's literally loading right now. It's just waiting for its respawn point.
I'm not saying anything definitive until we know for sure.
Yeah, you just have to have the good vibes though.
Oh, I have the good vibes. I'm just, if you couldn't tell, I'm very low energy. That's because it's just been a week. The past like 72 hours have been a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just tired. Yeah, but we are starting with video on one of the most important horror series to you.
Yes.
Because this is the series that you and your brother like got your intro to horror, essentially.
So I did talk to him recently about this, actually. I was on the phone with him the other night when I came over. Me and the missus came over, my brother called, and so we were talking about the podcast and stuff, and I was like, hey, we're going to cover Silent Hill. And he's like, yeah, like it's, he didn't call it generational trauma, but our older cousin is who got him into horror with Resident Evil.
Nice.
And then brother found Silent Hill, which then got me into horror. And so we have this kind of just trickle down effect of, yeah, he played, he didn't say which Resident Evil. I'm assuming it's 4 because I remember having that on the GameCube.
Yeah.
Him and my cousin Brian would play, just like him and I would play, quote unquote, meaning I was shoved in the back of his room so he wasn't alone playing these games.
Yeah.
And that sparked so much of my life, actually. My love of horror was all sparked because of my brother, who was then sparked by my cousin, and so it was weird to find that out. But yeah, Silent Hill 3 is the one I remember the most, and have the most fond memories of, probably because of my age.
We are going to be covering that one, but we did want to start with the first one, just because.
Yeah, so the first movie is based off of kind of 1 through 3. They pull elements from everything. It definitely has the essence of Silent Hill, just in the gameplay too.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a very great adaptation. It is still quoted to be one of the best game adaptations to a movie there has ever been.
It's how I hope Zach Krager will do his Resident Evil.
Yep.
I mean, we already saw a little clip of it in the trailer of him, like, finding the green shotgun shell box in the drawer. I need stuff like that. I need the, like, video gamey kind of, like, you know, when Oh god, we'll get to it, but
this movie does it so well. You could just see the scene and be like, oh, it's a video game. It was the flashlight. Finding the flashlight was a big one for me when she opens and it rolls in the drawer too. That was good.
So good.
But the second movie, Revelations, is based off of the third game, which is weird for a sequel, and no one talks about Resident Evil Revelations because of how bad it is. And then Return to Silent Hill is based off of the second game, which is technically chronologically the third movie, so it's weird. But Silent Hill 3, the game, is my favorite. Silent Hill 2 is fan favorite. Everyone loves Silent Hill 2. And I will start off this with the caveat that everyone's gripe with this movie is that Pyramid Head should not be here. Not just because it's based off of the first game, but Pyramid Head is specifically supposed to be for the protagonist in 2, which is James, I forgot his last name.
Interesting. It's been so long since I watched any of the others. I didn't even remember any of this movie, so it felt like watching it for the first time.
Yeah, no, it's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, the biggest gripe was Pyramid Head being here. They also call him the Red Pyramid, which is weird, but in, I guess, the original Japanese game, he's called Red Pyramid Thingy. So
that's great.
It works. But yeah, that was one of people's biggest gripes is Pyramid Head shouldn't be here because he's specific to the second game for a specific character, not just a monster in the world.
But we will talk about the fact that this Pyramid Head was a breeding ground for the start of a lot of people's monster fetish sort of. That was a thing before I even realized it was a thing, and then when I grew up an adult, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Yeah. Fun fact: the I don't want to call him an actor because he's actually a choreographer who plays Pyramid Head. Doesn't have clothes on at all. Playing Pyramid Head, the butt you see is his butt.
Nice.
One of the actresses was like, "Yeah, it was a great day when he was on set. You got a nice butt walking around."
I mean, I get it, but also like. To me, it's a very superficial crush because, like, you're just crushing on the fact that he's ripped to shit.
Yeah. Hey, we talk about my type of men being some guy who could just drag me around in a 7-foot tall pyramid man who's 25% bigger than humans. He'll do it.
Yeah, I just...
You couldn't have any romance with him. That's just a fuck.
Yeah, but that's the problem is I need some sort of like personal connection for the fuck.
That's fair.
So like if I can't connect with Pyramid Head, then shit, he'd be great in a fucking smoking rotation, but
theoretically I like the idea. Practically speaking, I'm on the same page of I like having a personal connection, and I don't think you could really snuggle well with Pyramid Head. The pillow talk would not exist.
No. Be very cold. Anyway,
Silent Hill, yeah, started everything for a lot of people. It spawned a lot of things for a lot of people, and I told you this. I was watching a YouTube kind of like documentary by the Gaming Muse. Gotta shout them out because they did a deep dive into the history of Japan at the time that the creators were born and what influenced them into making this game.
Wow. That's deep lore.
Dude, the amount of lore they're getting into and how like Western occultism affected Japan in growing, and like the people who would grow up to be the main directors and CGI people and everything for this game was insane. I haven't finished it yet, but I was watching that and forgot to wake my wife up. One of the reasons I was so late is because I woke her up later than normal today because I was sucked into watching it. Such a good video, very deep lore. All of the comments were like, you taught me stuff I didn't know, because they just go in so deep. I was thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
Apparently, Silent Hill 2, the game, ranks on one of the best, if not the best, survival horror game of all time, ever, all of the time.
Damn.
It's a very, very good one. I really want to play it. It's kind of why Resident Evil 2 was the first one that got a really good, like, remastered version, because that is everyone's fan favorite.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. It was... Watching this movie was kind of a trip. I had to pause it. So I had the wiki for the film open, I had the film playing, and then I had the wiki for the game open. And I was comparing and contrasting as I was going, because you're always going to get people who hate the movie just because it's not 1,000% faithful to the game or the source material, right? But I think this movie did such a good job of being the essence of Silent Hill, even if they changed the main character, the main protagonist, from a male to a female. They added Christabella because she isn't in the original game. They changed some of the plot stuff, but it's a movie. And you don't have, I believe one of the directors or the writer said this, that you don't have all of the things you have in a game, right? You don't have the character's inner monologue. You don't have the finding the documents around all of that kind of stuff. There's so many things that you can't translate in a movie well, that them changing, like adding Christabella and kind of changing the plot a little bit with how everything works with our Sharon, with our girl, makes sense for a general public audience without head diving deep into the lore that is Silent Hill. It was, I think, a great accessibility change for the general public.
100%.
They also played the game on set. The game was like on a big screen all of the time.
That's
to
sick.
Make sure they were getting the proper elements. The director had to make a short film by himself, like his own budget, to send to Konami to get them to approve him doing the movie for the game, because of how many offers they had. Konami kept saying no.
Damn.
Yeah. Like, this guy loves Silent Hill.
Yeah. Well, and you can tell, I mean, like, this is one of those movies where, like, you tell the person making it really wanted to make it and loved what they were doing. Like, I think it's a great movie. It's so much fun. I also just love Sean Bean.
I forgot he was in this. And
he's the fucking best.
Do you know my benchmark for recognizing him, though? Like, what movie I think of as soon as I see him?
Well, for movies, a lot of people think of Lord of the Rings, but...
Nope. National Treasure.
I don't think I've actually ever watched National Treasure.
He's the antagonist of National Treasure.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, the guy in National Treasure. And my wife was like, Lord of the Rings? And I was like, oh, yeah, he's in that.
It's Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones for me, but I mean that.
Yeah, no, those ones make more sense. I think
it's funny.
The other thing I wanted to touch on, there's a weird sexism flip in this, and I don't know if you read about this. The director and his co-director, or the writer, I can't remember. So the director's French, and he has like another person who works closely with him. Maybe it's the DP, maybe it's I don't remember who it is, who are both French. And he said as they were working on the script and doing everything, he realized it was a completely feminine world, and that if you looked at Mason, the everyman from Silent Hill, right, like the self-insert character, he does things, and I'm quoting this man, saying, he does things that are just so feminine. He's actually a woman. It makes more sense if he was a woman. And a bunch of people obviously had beef with that, being like, all right, so men can't care for their daughters? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So there's a weird thing with that, but he did end up... I don't agree with him saying that, but for his movie he was trying to make, he wanted to focus on motherhood and the duality of that, between being a good mom and a bad mom, and that, it wouldn't translate well with a father versus a mom. Yeah.
I do think that them making the protagonist a woman in this Silent Hill specific, I think it does cater very well to not questioning why someone would be doing that for their daughter. Because when you think of a mom and a daughter, you think of that mom literally killing themselves for their daughter if they had to.
Yeah.
Whereas for a father, there's still that, like, obvious, like, oh, it's my daughter and, like, gotta protect her and, like, all this stuff. But I think it's just more pronounced when it's from the mom. I'm gonna fucking protect my baby, like Mother Bear, you know.
Originally, there were no men in the script at all. Wow. And the producers were like, you have to have men in this.
Yeah.
And so we got the subplot of Chris and Gucci, which everyone hates the subplot because no one cares about their freaking story.
It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't.
Like,
Nothing they do matters.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, man, this movie's 2 hours long? Like, I forgot it was that long. And then thinking about it now, it was probably like normal runtime, and then they just like
had to
add all the shit with Sean Bean, which is fine, but I don't know. I definitely, because of the state my brain is in, I had a hard time holding on to some parts of the movie, especially because a lot of it all just looks the fucking same. And I know I say that a lot, but in this movie, you never know exactly where you are unless like they're specifically giving you the hints.
There's also the problem with we're dealing with, they called it 3 different timeline or versions of Silent Hill. Right? You have modern day Silent Hill, fog Silent Hill, and dark Silent Hill. And so you have multiple, quote unquote, multiple of the same set, right? It's all the same set, just set dressed differently.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like 100 and something sets. And it's just, if you've never played Silent Hill, go watch someone's playthrough. My God, I cannot rave about this series. I don't know, for my horror tattoo, I don't know what I'm going to get for Silent Hill. That is the biggest one I'm struggling with. I got sidetracked by my tattoo, so I can't remember exactly what I was saying. But, go play this. I can't rave about it enough. This is a fantastic series. This movie, we've said it enough already, is the essence of the game in a movie. And to your point about everything kind of looking the same, when you play a survival horror movie, or horror game, right? Like, everything does look the same. It gives you that feeling of just dread because you're like, oh shit, how was I here before? And they even bring in at least 2 separate maps into the movie about like, hell, where am I?
Yeah.
With maps, and it's fantastic. There is a very deep lore for Silent Hill, and this movie scrapes the top of it and then makes it digestible for your average viewer. So we don't get the actual plot line that was in Silent Hill the Game 1, but we get something very adjacent to it. Like we already mentioned, main character got changed from Mason to Rose, so male to female, and then we get Christabella added, who we'll talk about her and Dahlia later, and about that change of why that happened. But those are... Oh, my brother did tell me a fun fact that he learned was the actress who played Rose did not wash her hair for this entire movie to give it that grimy, gross, like she was actually living in it look. That's commitment.
That is commitment. That's the kind of commitment I'm okay with when it comes to, what do they call it?
Method acting?
Method acting. But I always compare any method acting scenario back to Jared Leto's Joker.
It's hard not to.
Literally, like, anytime I'm like, does this method acting like hurt other people? No? Okay. Well, then that's good. Good for them. Like, I'm glad it works.
You said Jared Leto. I heard Heath Ledger.
No.
So it's like Heath Ledger did intense method acting, but Jared Leto was an asshole with his method acting.
Yes. No.
You're
Heath
right.
Ledger did it right. Jared Leto did it
I wouldn't
wrong.
say did it right.
I mean,
with how it ended.
No, but you know what I mean.
He wasn't an asshole to people around him because the character he was playing
wasn't
is a fucking
tormenting
asshole.
other people. Mm.
Do you have any opening thoughts or anything before we just jump into it? Anything you want to say about our year as well?
I'm very proud of us.
I'm proud of us too.
We'll just keep doing it until we can't do it no more.
We open on parents Rose and Christopher in the middle of the night in a house in like the middle of the woods,
Panicking,
screaming for their daughter Sharon. Christopher is up on their balcony looking into the woods.
It's a big house.
It's a nice house. Rose is on the like boots on the ground, screaming for her, looking around, and Christopher's like, "Oh, she's over there." She bolts down the woods, finds her teddy bear, cuts into this path through the woods, and I'm like, mom instincts, because how the hell do you know where your daughter is? And it leads to an underpass where there was a bunch of Easter eggs on the wall. Claudia Wolf, who is I think in the second or third game, I can't remember, and then one for Cheryl, who we don't get, and I think there was like a Konami one too. Like everything spray painted on. I think GMC was also like, there was just a bunch of random shit that was spray painted, but a lot of Easter eggs. And as she cuts through this, there's a freaking waterfall under this underpass thing.
It's like it like leads straight to a quarry, like a small quarry. Just like a 70-foot drop.
And she's looking around screaming for Sharon, cannot find her until she looks over, and then you as the viewer get the camera shift of Sharon just wobbling on the edge of the cliff, looking at nothing until you get her POV, and there's this weird boiler room industrial-esque pit where the water used to be, and it's just like a drop leading to fiery pits.
Hell.
Yeah, might as well be.
Industrial hell is kind of what it looks like. Because there's like the crosswalkways and like the pipes and stuff that go up and down, but then at the bottom it's just like fire.
It's weird. Luckily, before she completely tips forward...
I'm so sorry. I don't even know if we mentioned the fact that this whole thing is literally based off of a real thing.
What?
Silent Hill is based off of a real place where there were actual like coal fires and a bunch of people in the town.
The movie, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
like,
the movie was, they took the basis of Silent Hill from a town that had, yes, you're correct.
Yeah, like this is, and that creeps me the fuck out to think that, I'm so glad we live in a time where everything extremely dangerous has already been like understood to be dangerous. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because even 50 years ago, I gotta say 70 years ago now because we're in 2026. Back in like the 50s, asbestos. Like people didn't even know asbestos was that bad.
Lead paint.
Yeah.
Rose gets up on the cliff edge, tackles Shannon before she can tumble into the abyss of what Rose just sees as water, but Shannon just sees as fiery pits of hell. And as she's tackled, she's in this like weird trance screaming about Silent Hill. And across the way, there's a big light up cross that doesn't mean anything, but it's there and it feels weird. If this was any movie that wasn't based on Silent Hill, I'd be like, oh, we're about to get into like a stereotypical Christianity demon movie, but it's based off of Silent Hill, so that means nothing to us right now.
Yeah.
For the movie, if you're just going based off of the movie and using movie lore, kind of matters a little. We get the title screen of Silent Hill in our nice stylized text.
God, when I was watching this movie, I was thinking of the words Silent Hill so much that they started to lose their meaning and sound like just fucking nonsense in my head.
That makes sense.
It's like silent. That just sounds weird at this point. Is that even a word? Yeah, it is.
Dude, in my head I was like, why would you name a place Silent Hill? Silent Hill. It's not a Silent Hill if they're coal mining up there. Why would it be Silent Hill?
I don't know.
Yeah, you got me. Oh, on that note, though, of fun facts of this movie, none of that note, a little while ago, circling back to notes about fun facts in this movie. I forgot it. And so now I'm trying desperately to remember what it was.
Oh, you're fine.
Because I apparently didn't write it down. I don't remember what I was going to say, so we're just going to move on and hopefully my brain remembers it. I did forget cooking something on the stove the other day. I'm getting put on medication for my ADHD because it's getting too bad. So forgive me as I function.
You're chilling, dude. Like I said, I'm barely functioning, so, you know.
Yeah, and we go not back-to-back recording. We're recording today and tomorrow for our bonus episode, which is another perk. If you join our Stacked, you get an extra bonus episode a month that will also be a video episode. But we cut to, after the title screen, Sharon is drawing under a tree when Rose comes over to talk to her and is looking at the drawing saying, oh my god, did you draw this all by yourself? Obviously. Who else drew it with her? The tree? I don't know. Just felt weird. Rose sits under the tree with her and like pulls Shannon into her lap and is like, do you know where we're going?
They start meowing.
Oh, because she drew a lion.
Yeah, but lions don't meow.
She's 8. All cats meow. Rose explains that when Shannon sleepwalks, she sleepwalks and sleep talks about this place called Silent Hill, so that they're gonna go see it to see if that'll help. Her phone goes off, and she turns it off. Daddy is not coming. Christopher is not coming. They cuddle under the tree for a bit, taking a little nap when a semi drives by, waking them up, and they get back into the car. Oh, yeah, this like threw me off because I was expecting them to be leaving on the trip. They were already on their way to Silent Hill. So like as they get up out of the tree, their car is just like on the side of the road. They just got up, take a piss or stretch their legs or something and are going back on the road. Christopher did not know they were going either. He is panic calling, looking at the computer, looking at all of these things from this old mining town called Silent Hill that is now a ghost town. And he's like, why are you going there? What is wrong with you? He's not for it. He's kind of like your stereotypical dad in a horror movie who's just like, this is not going to help. At a gas station, Rose goes to the back seat to check on Shannon, who's fast asleep, and looks at the stuff she's been drawing. And the sketchbook had a bunch of pretty colorful drawings in it, and now they are all scribbled on with black crayon and look like darkness has just eaten all of them.
Yeah, there's also like people standing around her in some of these like drawings. It's fucking creepy.
It's not the best. We talked about this in Insidious. Pay attention to your children's drawings. Things be weird.
Mm-hmm.
Have I been saying Shannon?
No, I don't think so. I think you've been saying Sharon.
Okay. In my head, I was saying Shannon.
Because every time you say it, I think of Ozzy Osbourne just going, Sharon.
Okay, good. Sharon wakes up and Rose asks her why she changed her pictures, but she can't remember doing them. She's like, Mommy, who did that?
What the fuck, man?
She's not happy about it.
Meanwhile, there's a cop that kind of clocks this happening and is just kind of staring at them like, what the fuck?
Which good on the cop, being like, why is this child screaming about what the fuck happened?
Yeah, who did this? Who did this? Yeah.
The thing that like strikes me as weird here is the cop then walks towards their car while Rose walks inside to pay for gas. Mm-hmm. And I would 1,000% be like, the fuck are they going to my car for?
Yeah.
Like, anyone passes me towards my car when it's an abandoned, like, I'm looking. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Rose goes inside, and it's a diner and gas station. Well, the cop goes to talk to Sharon and leans across the hood. Not across the hood, but, like, leans on the car and asks if everything's okay. And Sharon's like, I don't talk to strangers, and rolls up the window. And the cop's like, good girl.
Yeah.
She talks to the waitress / gas station attendant behind the counter about how to get to Silent Hill, but the woman behind the counter says the road doesn't go up there anymore. It's shut down. Also, your card's declined. She pays in cash, goes outside, calls Chris on the phone, and is like, why did you cut off the card? That's not going to stop me from going anywhere. And he's like, she needs to go to the hospital, talking about Sharon and her sleepwalking stuff. Rose says it's not going to help, that none of that has been helping. Let me help our daughter. It's like they just want to drug her up pretty much. And she hangs up on him as he's saying, I love her as much as I love you. As Rose drives away, the cop writes down her plate number, which, good on the cop for being like, that was a weird interaction, just in case. Let me write down the plate, let me look it up. We also learn why she did that later, which, yeah, makes total sense. In, 2 minutes, a little bit up the street, the same cop pulls them over. But as she pulls off, she sees a sign. Rose pulls off. She sees a sign that says Silent Hill that way. And she tells Sharon to keep her seatbelt on and floors it. This scene is crazy to watch. This really feels... This, for me, is when the game sequence starts.
100%. They also... I kept laughing because it surprised me that even in 2006... we didn't have super good audio filtering. And so some of the screams are like Kevin McAllister peeking the mic. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Literally, there's a couple screams from Rose that hit that fucking Home Alone peak just like that. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a bit of fuzziness almost.
Yeah, it like warbles.
It's so funny. And Sharon does it right now. And it just
Oh.
like, cause she's like, oh my God, her mom just tore the fuck off away from a cop. She's doing like 100 miles an hour up this dark ass fucking road.
She's like screaming mommy, and then the radio starts doing this horrible static thing, and Sharon has to like cover her ears, and she's screaming mommy, turn it off, turn it off. Rose is screaming back, it's just the radio, I'm trying, sweetie. And they crash through the freaking gate into Silent Hill. A child walks across this little freeway, which causes Rose to freaking yank the wheel and spin out because it's also raining, and then crash into nothing.
Yeah.
Where she hits her head and blacks out.
Yeah, she hits her head on the wheel.
But we see the outside of the car did not crash into anything.
No, I don't know.
There was a mountain 2 feet that way. Just point the car that way. I don't know. A little
Yeah, I
weird.
don't know.
Which, that entire mountain, this entire stretch of road, soundstage. They made it all.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched an hour of the making of Silent Hill. And they specifically had to do this scene indoors because of the fog that is now surrounding it. They had to make sure they could control the fog and the ash that's snowing down.
Makes
The
sense.
poor set team who painstakingly carved all out of foam that mountain and then laid a road down. The production designer, phenomenal.
Yeah.
She was in there and she was getting interviewed, and I looked up some of her other movies and I was like, dang, you are so fucking cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because she talks about all of the sets too and everything they did in the church we'll see later, and just, oh, it was so cool. I love it when they bring in like production to talk about things. I love that kind of stuff.
100%.
Waking up, the passenger door is entirely open with no Sharon in sight. Rose has, a bang up on her forehead, which has stopped bleeding but was bleeding. It's, like we said, foggy, and it is snowing ash. Just ash is coming down like crazy, which in the original game it was just snow. It wasn't ash.
But the ash, they got that from the real life location, because the place where like the coal fires and everything happened, it would literally snow ash all over this town.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. But
Yeah.
again, terrifying.
They just did a very good job about all
Yeah,
of this.
100%.
The town strip too, like that main chunk of town is actually a town that was going through renovations and a bunch of shops closing.
That's
It
cool.
was I can't remember the name of the town, but it's outside of Toronto, because again, this is a French-Canadian movie. So
That's cool.
actors did phenomenal.
Mhm.
The practical effects that we're going to get into here in a second, like the makeup designers, holy shit.
So good.
My favorite is the first one we encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and watching, I'll talk about it here in a second, but
It's fucking wild.
so she wakes up, Sharon's gone. She runs up the road a little bit, looking around, calling for Sharon, and sees a sign saying, "Welcome to Silent Hill." The town is deserted, still super foggy, which in this case would probably actually be smoke, but foggy, ash, eerily quiet. She keeps screaming for Sharon, finally catching some movement of like a little girl running down an alley who you can't really see, but she's got long black hair, so possibly Sharon, goodness. Now I'm gonna trip myself up every time I see it. She runs towards the kid, but the kid's like obviously has a head start, and so she has to like cut down these different alleys until finally there's this like there's like an alley and then another alley, and then there's like a stairwell. And as she starts walking down the stairwell, it kind of reminded me of the stairwell from Audition, where it's just down to where the bar is. Just one of those deep stairwells that go to like a sub-basement or something.
Yeah.
And as she's walking down, it's getting darker and darker, and then you get the iconic freaking siren noises go off.
Mm-hmm. This is a very video gamey kind of transition. You and I are going to probably do a playthrough of Resident Evil 7. Because again, that was like the start of them doing the first person horror and everything.
Yeah.
But it starts out like that, it's like during the day and it's bright out, but then like as you get closer to the front door of the house, it gets darker, and then when you get in the house, it's like dark as fuck until you get to some windows and there's a little bit of light, but like the light fades, and then by the time it's dark out, that's when you're fucking put into it. And so the way that she walks down the stairs and it gets darker. It's just such a good transition. Like, this is the transition from the cutscene into the actual video game, you know?
Yes, yeah. And Silent Hill, I don't know if I want to say it pioneered the point lighting for that kind of effect, because the whole thing, and like I said at the beginning, I was watching a whole deep dive into the video game itself. The reason it was foggy and the point lighting and all of that stuff is because it was everyone's first dive into 3D modeling, and having an entire city mapped out. The system literally couldn't handle it, and so like for rendering purposes, everything had to be obscured to a point.
Yeah,
and so it definitely lent into the story as a whole, which also I haven't finished the video game aspect of it. Heavily inspired by Stephen King's The Mist.
Makes sense.
Yes, it does. But yes, the point lighting of everything, kind of, you can only see what you can see because of the light you have. Phenomenal. We love that. We talk about in Descent as well, that the light you have is the light you have.
Yeah.
She just so happens to have a lighter on her that she clicks on.
A little zipper.
And illuminating what you can see, and the concrete is no longer gray, but this decrepit, rusty red that's just peeling. Everything kind of turns industrial metal, is like the best way. That's the vibe, is like that industrial reddish brown rusting metallic-y shit is everywhere.
The color tone when she first enters the town is like very blue, and it's very, like the fog, it's very gray and just very one color. And then once she turns the lighter on, the entire color tone of the movie shifts into this yellowish, orangish brown, like kind of warm, dark, creepy tone. But I'm that obviously you might talk about like the different versions of Silent Hill.
This would be the dark Silent Hill.
Yeah, this is the worst version of it.
This is... Oh, crap, I forgot to turn my phone off.
Oh, you're chilling. I was like, it's my phone? Nope.
The dark Silent Hill, for all intents and purposes, is the Silent Hill I think of. I think most general audience think of Fog Silent Hill, of walking into that decrepit town that's empty and there's fog everywhere. But I think of this Silent Hill.
Yeah.
When she comes to the end of the stairs, it's pouring rain. Again, the whole aesthetic we just talked about. She keeps calling for Sharon. She comes to a maze of sorts of fences. The hog wire or a chicken wire fence, kind of what you see when there's like a construction zone happening, like those big fences that are lined in fake, not fake fences, but they're fences that are put up to keep someone out, not like permanent fences.
Yeah.
Which she stops and looks intently at maybe a weird tarp. I have no idea what she's looking at here for a second. She like shines it and she's like, oh my God. And then the little girl runs away ahead of her and she has to squeeze through this gate and she's following, trying to get through all of this, like, again, weird mazy fence stuff. When she comes into a disemboweled miner crucifixed on this fence where like the bowels are just all over the ground, and it zooms in on the miner's face.
And he's still alive.
He's fucking breathing.
His eyes are wide and he's like kind of shaking a little bit, kind of trembling, and fucking Rose panics, obviously. And
backs away towards where behind her is a gray child screaming. And then instead of like, it starts off looking like a normal-ish gray child, and then as it screams, its face morphs and twists and turns to the side of its face, and now there are a horde of them, and they're all kind of lit from the inside, like glowing little candles, and they're all, again, child size, and they're running after her. She squeezes her way inside a building, crawling away from them, while the audio does the distorted, like, bomb sound that goes off, like where it's just a ringing and everything gets super muffled. They start dragging her away, and she just keeps screaming, get away, get off of me. But then they just kind of burn away into nothing, and she's left there.
And then she passes out. And then she, like, it's like a blink into
Foggy
Silent Hill. And she wakes up and is like, get off of me. And then realizes, like,
Nothing's there.
nothing's there.
And she's in a bowling alley
Mm-hmm.
where a jukebox is playing The Ring of Fire,
Yeah.
sung by Johnny Cash.
Very, I love it. It's just so perfectly thrown in there. And I was thinking about the fact, like, it's so funny. A lot of older songs like that get used in later movies for, like, more fucked up instances. You know, back then it was just, oh, like, it's a double entendre or whatever. Now you can slip it into a fucking movie like this and it has a totally different meaning.
It does. And this was my kind of deep dive tangent side, my knife of this movie, if you will. It wasn't written by Johnny Cash. Did you know that? I've only ever heard the Johnny Cash version.
Who's it written by?
His wife at the time, or his only wife. I don't know if he had multiple wives. Was
it written by her for him, though?
No.
Oh.
It was written by her sister for her and her band at the time or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I only know the Johnny Cash version. I don't know the whole story. Don't
Yeah.
quote me on that. I read a wiki real fast on it.
I think it's funny, though, that the song choice is so perfect because it's the song's actual meaning also plays into the more, like, literal aspect of it.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, that love is burning, but it's also fucking painful. Rose's love for her daughter is so strong that it's sent her into this hell.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's just, like, so funny that on the very base face level of it, it's just like, yeah, you fell into a pit. You fell into the pit of hell.
Good luck.
Good luck. It's so perfect.
Oh, I do want to mention, so the monsters in this movie are all dancers, I believe.
Well, that's cool.
The choreographer is two of the monsters.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. My all-time favorite, my all-time favorite are the nurses.
Oh, yeah, me too.
In the games as well, the nurses freaked me out the most, and seeing them in this movie, perfect.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I did want to point out I don't know if this is true or not, but in my headcanon of this movie, this is fun because Konami started off as like a jukebox rental company or like an entertainment company. So this song playing on a jukebox, it was just like, oh, is it like a little nod to Konami's start?
Yeah, that's funny.
That's what I thought of. She goes back outside where it's snowing Ashkin and there's fog. And again, we're back in foggy Silent Hill where there's really no people and everything's gray bluish scale, and instead of a weird maze of like those construction fences, it's just a bunch of backyard like waist high wooden fences that are all knocked over, and she's easily able to move through it, and she runs back to town passing all of the same buildings, all of the kinds of stuff, and essentially comes to the end of the map. Yep. A sheer cliff drop into nothingness, like the town is an ale jail. Air jail. Ale jail. Ale jail.
Oh, man.
It's that kind of day.
You know when when you're so sleep deprived that you get like really giggly?
Mm-hmm.
I've been in that state off and on for the past couple days.
After we're done, you should sleep.
I fucking plan on it. Tay and I are going to make sub Sammys. I'm gonna do like a garlic and herb olive oil on some bread and toast it, and then we're gonna like make them fancy.
Yeah.
And then I'm crawling the fucking bed.
Mm-hmm. A woman's voice breaks her from this kind of panic, and it's Dahlia Gillespie, which I keep saying wrong. Rose tries to ask her what's going on, but she's saying like, oh, she's lost her child, like, can you help her? And she's like, we've all lost our children. They're deceiving her. They deceived her. They hurt her.
I want to believe that this lady was some inspiration to the bride from Insidious, because if you squint your eyes, they look very similar.
When did Insidious come out? 2013?
Not too much later. 7 years.
That's fair.
But I guess filming, recording, writing would have happened sooner, so.
Yeah, and again, Silent Hill, iconic for the horror community.
Am I wrong for thinking that? Like, I just, like, when I picture her in my head, and then I think about the bride from Insidious and put them next to each other.
I think it threw me off because she's not a bride, but you keep calling her a bride.
No, I think... Oh, yeah, because she's, like, mourning, isn't she?
Yeah,
Whatever
she's
the
just
fuck.
in all black, but she has the veil, which is why you
Yeah.
keep calling her the bride.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old woman.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it. Like, if this...
It might be
Dahlia
like the
tied-
hair with the dress.
I was going to
like,
say, if
all
she tied her hair
disheveled.
back,
Mm.
like, I think if she didn't have all the stringy pieces in front of her face, I could
It's
see
just
it.
like, yeah, I don't know.
It's the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Rose shows her a picture of Sharon, telling Dahlia that she sleepwalks and you have to be careful when you approach her, and Dahlia starts yelling about how she's mine, and Rose has to like shove her off before running the other direction. That's our first human we see in Silent Hill, really,
Mm-hmm.
besides this glimpse of a possible child running around.
Yep.
And this is where we cut back to Christopher, and we're getting his little subplot of his little Taken movie of trying to find his wife and daughter.
Oh, God.
He stops at an auto body shop asking the mechanic if he's seen Rose, shows him a picture saying, like, we see my wife and kid. They were supposed to go up to Silent Hill.
We probably won't linger on these
No.
moments for too long because it's just...
Because you can tell they don't care.
It doesn't matter. It truly has nothing to do with the story, like, at all, really, except to just help establish a couple of things easier.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And
yes.
I guess it kind of helps with the ending to be like, oh, we've seen this man before.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
They could have done it other ways.
I'm just thinking if I want to get this movie and then just chop out all of the scenes and see how it plays.
It'd probably be great. Because then it's literally just a story about a mom going to this fucked up town to go save her child. And it's one of those movies that, like, you start and you're fucking already on the way there. Like, holy shit, we're just getting into the fucking meat and potatoes kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I think it'd work. I think it would. Not that I mean, I love Sean Bean. I love watching him on screen. Don't ever take him off my screen when he's on. But
It's just,
it's all such
it was literally,
filler.
it was literally done so the producers would greenlight it. And that's the problem, is you can tell the love and care that's in the rest of the movie. And then these scenes are, like, it's a nice compare and contrast, right? These scenes are lightly, what? Or bright light compared to our dark world we're in. And there's something that kind of rubs me the wrong way about the men only being in the quote-unquote real world, while the women, quote-unquote, are in this fantasy
I see what you
fucked
mean.
up world. It kind of rubs me the wrong way that it's showing that the women are dealing in, you know, I don't know if that makes sense.
Trust me, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think that it all plays into time that it came out and the fact that certain tropes and certain things here and there from older movies that we just don't see anymore because we understand it's not necessary or not even appropriate to do. It's just such a different time. And that's a weird thing to say because that was 2006.
20 years ago?
But that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We've seen such an insane social shift, and that happens to an even more extreme extent because of the internet and social media. So, like, back then, it was just like, yep, that's just how it is. But now, no.
Yeah.
You don't need the woman to be helpless to make people feel more scared.
Yeah, I don't know, because I know, like, the director wanted this to be an all-woman cast and, you know, wanted that kind of woman empowering vibe.
Yeah.
But I feel like that just gets thrown off kilter with the men being in the real world, because then it feels like everything that's happening to these women is in their heads or make-believe or, you know, just calling it the real world versus this fantasy setting.
I'd like to think that maybe the producers are like, it can almost be seen either way. The men are the one living in the fantasy world when the women are out there dealing with the actual real shit that's going on.
That's fair.
Does that make sense?
I do like it better
because,
that
like,
way.
you know, the cop is living in this blissful ignorance of, like, oh, it's an old town and, like, it all got fucked up and whatever. But that's not the case. The real in this story, in this universe, the real shit that's going down is where Rose is and where like all that is happening. So I think it could be seen either way, but I'm gonna push it back towards that. Unlike,
I'm gonna agree with you.
The men are living in the fantasy world, and because they think it's the real world, in a lot of these scenarios, the men don't believe in the supernatural or the
right,
the mystical, whatever. But in these movies, like, that shit's real. You're living in a fantasy land at that point. I don't know.
No, I like that take better. I remember my fun fact.
Oh my god.
The music is all from the game, just about.
That's sick. Do you know who did the music?
Akira Yakimoto.
Okay.
Oh, I said that wrong. Akira Yamaoka? 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 I don't know. A lot of the music is just ripped straight from the games, which I think really helps build that game vibe of you feeling like you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the director said a fun thing with this, where he said one of the main things that sucks about doing a movie adaptation of a game, why it's so hard, is because when you're playing the game, you're living it. You're feeling those sensations, you're living through what the character is feeling, and trying to translate that into you watching someone else do it is, a 50-50 toss-up. Are you gonna be like, oh yes, I feel for them because I've been there, or is it gonna be like, that's not how that should work because I've been there?
Yeah.
I think, again, great job.
Yeah.
The mechanic explains that Silent Hill shut down because of the coal fire burning underground, and how, everyone left, you'll die if you breathe in all of those fumes, which I think is fun as he lights a cigarette. Chris then pulls out his money clip and taps it on the engine a little bit to bribe him to tell him where the turnoff is so he can go there. Rose comes across a map on her...
Sorry.
You're fine. My phone went off. You're dropping things.
Happy anniversary.
Not much has changed, has it?
Nope.
There's a map on the floor. I'm sorry, on the road when she gets back to her car. She picks it up. We never see this map again. It's a map, right?
Yeah.
Or is it I don't know.
It
looked like a map.
I don't remember.
This is where you really see that the car crashed into nothing as it's pristinely sitting there. She gets into the car. In one of Sharon's drawings, there is a school completely consuming by darkness. And so Rose calls Chris, being like, hey, I fucked up. I lost her kid. I'm in Silent Hill. I'm gonna find her. I think I know where she's at. I can't do this alone. I really need you here. Okay, love you, bye. She shuts as this phone call's happening, so she shut the doors and was trying to get the car to start and stuff. As this is happening, you can see the same cop coming up in the rear view. I almost said mirror. It's not a mirror. Windshield. Rear view windshield coming around, who pulls her gun, what is wrong with my brain? Makes Rose, not Chris, put her hands on the wheel, asks her where her daughter is, pulls her out of the car, handcuffs her, and the cop is Sybil, and I fucking love Sybil.
She rules.
Ugh. Action here. Her and what's her name from Resident Evil?
Mila Jovovich.
No.
Oh,
the
yes, I know who you're talking about.
Umbrella Corps chick.
What
the fuck is her name? I don't remember. Those two in a movie together of Resident Evil Silent Hill crossover where it's Sybil and her. Ugh, unstoppable duo.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love her.
Mm-hmm.
She's so good in that movie.
She's so good.
So Sybil asks her where the little girl went. She tries to radio in, saying, again, arrest her, puts handcuffs on her, but her radio isn't working. Rose looks at her, telling her she's bleeding, and she's wearing her motorcycle helmet with freaking aviators on, and on the side you can just see this blood dripping, and her gloved hand comes up and pokes at it. She just stares back at her blankly, saying they're going to be hiking back to town. Oh, the car, she did try to start the car, and it will not turn over.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the battery's dead or something. Chris listens to the voicemail, but it's hella distorted, and he can't really fully understand what Rose is saying. He can kind of make out that she isn't okay and she needs him. He gets to the gate into Silent Hill that Rose slammed through, and there are cops there. There's a barricade. They're not letting him through. It's raining like crazy. He explains that his wife was coming up here and explains what her car looks like. So this officer then calls over to the detective, whose name is Thomas Gucci. And Gucci explains that nothing looks like, it doesn't look like foul play. The car's there, but there's no one there. No harm has probably come to them. And he also explains, I'm missing a freaking cop. And knowing her, she's already out looking for your wife and daughter, so you don't need to worry. And Chris has to explain why his wife came up here, while Sybil is asking Rose the same thing of, why were you even up here in the middle of the night?
Mm-hmm.
We learn the reason Sybil is so sketched out by Rose is because last year or so, a man kidnapped a little boy and dragged him up here and dumped him in a mine shaft, and that's why she's so weary about people with kids that may or may not be theirs at this time.
Warranted.
Yeah, which, again, good on her for being good cop.
Proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Listening to a gut feeling, checking it out.
Yeah.
They pass Sybil's bike, which also crashed into ? But it's on the side. You know, there's a skid mark where she tried to brake, and it's laying there. We get to the edge of the world on this side. Rose calls her a fucking stupid cop because she'd rather go to a fire tower to look for a radio than listen to her ramble about what she's seen, which, also fair.
Mm-hmm.
In this current situation, I would also not believe Rose until you came to the edge of the world and were like, oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she might have a point, that the shit around here is weird.
Yeah.
When a vaguely humanoid shape is moving kind of in abandoned car lot area behind some fencing, moves up ahead. Sybil tries to call out, saying, hey, like, I don't know, we're lost or something, can you help us? When, this is fun because it's like a Nokia, Rose's phone, and it has a lanyard on it so she can wear it around her neck. So she just has it like a life alert. I kept thinking it was a life alert. The phone around her neck starts doing the static crazy thing that was happening in the car radio. Then Sybil's hip radio starts doing the same thing. They both are looking down like, what the hell? And they look up, and this armless, fused creature, it's humanoid, it doesn't have arms, or if it does, they haven't evolved out of its body. Like, it looks like it might have a few sets of arms that kind of look like rib cages all stuck to it. Has no distinguishing features on its face, except a mouth that is like a hole. It's just gaping, screaming.
Yeah. It
comes close, and like the stepping, the choreography that was done for this, it's just so jarring how this thing moves.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, the guy who's in this suit, his arms are like this. So it gives it like that weird, I keep hitting the mic, I'm so sorry.
He kind of has to feels like he has
flails.
to like, yeah.
He also can't see. So he has to he had to count his steps. This thing looks so disgustingly fleshy. They painted it so well, and it's silicone, so around its neck, when things move, you can see it like squishing flesh around.
Yeah, it's
They called him Trojan Man on set because it was like a giant condom.
the special effects team and the makeup artists really fucking went all out for this shit. They did such a good job.
The amount of care, too, I didn't talk about it earlier, but the amount of care that went into designing these costumes for these specific stunt doubles or dancers, whichever one they were. This guy had a breathing apparatus. He had to breathe through a tube. You know, the whole face is gone, so he had to breathe through a mouthpiece that came out, and there was a tube, like, in his groin or behind him, I can't remember which, to make sure he could breathe. It was only done in, like, 2 pieces, so him sitting there and doing everything, I think they said it took 2 hours, which in the grand scheme of things, like when we talked about 13 Ghosts, 2 hours does not, it's a long time, but it's not the longest time in the world that I've heard sit for makeup. The gray child.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go ahead.
The actress or the double, the person who played the gray child, phenomenal. Done in all of her weird, creepy movements. Like, I gotta see her because there's only one of her, right? The rest are her still, but different.
Like CG.
She apparently has to use the bathroom a lot. And so they specifically made her costume with a flap so she could go to the bathroom whenever she needed to.
That's so funny.
And she also couldn't see. So when that face turned, she could kind of glance out of the ear hole at some points. The actress who plays Rose was like, I don't know what she looks like. I've never actually saw her face.
Jeez. It's crazy.
They just, they're so beautiful. And when we get to Red Pyramid or Pyramid Head, we'll talk about his costuming as well. And our last creature, distinguishable creature, if you will. So this oozing, fleshy creature spits black acid at Sybil, who gets such a good, like, anime video game moment of tossing off the helmet and the glasses and coming back up with her gun and just hitting it just straight on, walking towards it with like this action movie type. I love Sybil.
Just all business at that point.
And she gets up on it till this thing collapses. Rose uses this moment to escape, running away, and then Sybil looks down and then has to rip off her leather jacket because it's also smoking with acid, and she hears these weird sounds approaching, and she goes over to this fence that's blocking off this area of abandoned carts or junkyard, whatever, and you can see all these armless things up on the hill crescending, just coming towards her, and she's just like, what the fuck? So Rose makes it back into town. She stops to do the thingy, to crouch down and get her handcuffed arms from behind her in front of her by stepping over them so she doesn't have to run with her arms behind her anymore. She comes across a bus map and follows it from stop to get to Midwich Elementary School, where the door has this weird stained glass motif that I can only explain as, like, if you think of a hexagon, and then from the top and bottom and sides, there are little crosses, except the bottom cross is very long, and at the very end of that cross is an arc. And at the end of that arc are two squares, where if this thing was a 3D model, it could stand on its own. It's there's a weird I don't know how to say this word. Manichism? Manichism. Manichism? There's a lot of letters. That's a big word for Elmo.
I lost it. My brain is not holding on to things. I don't know.
I'm going with manichism. Manichism cult. You see some weird cross things and you're like, culty. Feels culty, right? She goes up the stairs where there is a quote from biblical Psalms, which is, I think, where people start getting the hint that this might just be like a Christian thingy. It's really not. But the quote says, "The foes of the righteous will be condemned."
Love it.
Just a good quote.
Well, and when we watch the movie, and yeah,
that's why I think it's used, is because not of the biblical sense, but because of
the fucking
what happens.
Yeah.
The school is as run down as the rest of the town, and again, it's just the smoky ash. Everything is covered in dust. She finds the main office to look at their records, but all of the drawers are locked, and this is the such a gamer moment of, well, fuck, now I gotta look around for a key. Where's the key? Oh god, it's a key ring. Now I gotta try all of these individual keys until something opens. You open the first drawer and there's nothing in it. You open the second drawer and there's a flashlight that rolls into view, and then it's not super working, but it's like the 90s, so you know what you do is you fucking hit that shit till it works, and it turns on. She looks around the rest of the office where there are some interesting paintings above the office window of country, home, and God. Which, yeah, I guess fits into this kind of setting.
Yeah.
We go back to Gucci and Chris, who are in the real world, using a megaphone from Gucci's SUV to call out for Rose, and Gucci saying, you know, I can help you, don't worry, Sharon, Mrs. De Silva, please come out. And Chris is like, I can do this, why aren't you letting me do this? And Gucci's like, bro, in my experience, if a mom takes her kid to this kind of rundown, janky-ass place, She's mad at her husband.
Which, it's not a bad assumption half the time.
It's not bad to be on guard, to be like, why did your wife run away from you and not tell you what was happening?
Yeah. Because in the normal world, there's a reason she ran away from you, dude. But in this world...
There's a different reason she ran away from you.
Yeah.
Gucci explains more about the fire and how his dad used to own the barbershop in town, and how his dad tried to help get everyone out, but at a different point it just became like futile. Most people were good, but there were some who maybe possibly deserved to be burned alive, and how, you know, some bodies were just never found. Which is kind of a weird thing for a cop to say, but okay. Also, like, they're talking about how this big fire swept through everything. But there's still buildings and still things there, you know? There isn't this big burned down chunk of town.
Well, because I think
I know the fire happened, like, in the coal mine, so, like, a bunch of the miners died. But sometimes when they talk about it, and later, you'll see with Chris, when he does a little breaking and entering, everything's burned.
An oversight?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm racking my brain, but as we're talking about it, I'm remembering everything that's happened. But if you're like, hey, what happens 2 scenes from now? I couldn't fucking tell you.
No, you're good. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just an oversight, or maybe it's just for the effect of it, right? Making things more dramatized. I don't know.
Yeah.
Back in the school, Rose is looking around with her flashlight when she hears a sound down a hallway. She screams for Sharon, shines her flashlight that way, but doesn't see anything. She hears more sounds from down the stairs, so she shines her flashlight that way, and then sees this cage with a canary kind of pop out, like someone's swinging it, and she covers her flashlight real quick, runs back upstairs, tries a bunch of doors, again, very game-esque, of trying to find a place to hide real fast before the big bad finds you.
Mm-hmm.
It takes her a second to find a door that actually opens. And I don't know why. Fusses with multiple doors. I thought it said fuses. It's like, why is she fusing with doors? Fusses with multiple doors. Before she finds one that will open for her. She sprints into that building, like across this like courtyard, into a different building, up some stairs, into like a classroom. And this whole time, like, as soon as you see that canary cage, this creepy, eerie, high-pitched music shit starts going on. And as soon as she enters this classroom, like, breaks that threshold, no sound. Cuts off instantly. No music, no lulling, no nothing. Ugh.
Yeah. It's uncomfortable.
She looks out the window, then goes down. In this, when I say classroom, I mean the desks are all still set up. Everything's still there. She's running to go outside, go out the other entrance into the classroom, and passes this desk with fresh handprints in the ash, where witch is carved into one of the desk where one of the handprints is.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at it and is like, Sharon, where are you hiding? I'm like, why are handprints? What? Are you assuming that your daughter is the only person here? Okay, maybe. She opens the desk to find a workbook for Alessa Gillespie, and we get a flashback of Alessa getting bullied by girls in her classroom, by books being thrown at her saying burn the witch. A little girl then runs out of the doorway in present time, causing Rose to jump out of her. The girl goes up more stairs and into a door that leads to a bathroom. This place is gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, I don't even know, because it was like, to be fair, it was like a girls' school, but it said elementary school. Did every single girl in the whole Tri-County area come here?
Yeah, it's a big fucking elementary school.
A little girl crying echoes around the bathroom, but as Rose looks under the stalls, she sees no feet under any of the stalls to indicate where this girl is. So she opens them one at a time, pushing on it to open it. She gets to one stall that is locked and she looks under there, but there's nothing. She hears the cries again, so she goes to the next stall over, where she says, like, don't worry, like, I'm here to help, I'm not going to hurt you. And as she pushes it open, there's a man bound up with barbed wire just in the stall. The smell alone makes her gag and recoil out of the stall. But as she shines a flashlight back in on the wall, it says, dare you, double dare you, with an arrow pointing into his mouth where there's something sticking out of it. So she has to set the flashlight down because, again, still handcuffed, holds her breath, goes in, pulls the thing out of his mouth, maneuvering around the barbed wire.
Very video gamey.
Pulls out a blue thing, then runs out of the bathroom. But as soon as she opens the door, there's a flashlight beam on her and the miners are there. So she slams the bathroom door shut again, pulls out her keyring that she had pocketed, and has to flip through a bunch of keys to then lock the door, and is leaning against the door, clutching her locket necklace that has a picture of Sharon in it, saying, please, 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 help me, help me, help me. This shot, I watched behind the scenes of the shot, and it is so cool. So we mentioned that they had the video game on set while they were filming, and it was specifically for camera motions, and that really translates well. But this scene, so it starts off low, right? And you're getting higher, and the way it was filmed, she's got her back against the door, and you're at a side angle watching her with her back against the door, and the camera goes up and over the set, and when it comes back around, this is all in one shot. For the miners on the other side, that door, or that wall on the left side of the door, had to slide back into place.
Oh, shit.
So, like, when you originally see the scene, the wall isn't there, and it's crazy because pre-effects, everything's these walls are blue. So, it's weird seeing it, but you see as it comes back around, you see the door slide into place. I'm like, oh, I love set people.
Yeah.
They do such a good job.
The ingenuity is just unbelievable sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
She's holding the door off from the miners.
Right, and they're, like, kicking the door, and they're trying to break it down.
The canary freaks out.
Yes.
And so they grab it and fucking book it, which, you know why they use canaries, right?
Yeah, they were the old school carbon monoxide detectors.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, the reason why, like, you know, a canary in a coal mine, like, that was a real thing. Miners used to use birds and send them into a cave, and if they heard them tweeting, they'd know that it was safe to go in. But if they did not hear any tweeting or anything like that, and they knew that the bird had died because there was no oxygen.
The siren goes off again, and all the light disappears.
The little siren head.
That's all I could think of, and I was like, this was pre-Siren Head. Why did I keep thinking of Siren Head?
I know, I kept thinking of that too, and then I was like, I need to just go back and rewatch some of the Siren Head content that came out, because it was good shit.
Turning on the flashlight, you can hear the paint peeling as everything decays in front of her eyes. Years and years and years are passing in seconds. Out from the last stall, the guy who is tied up in barbed wire crawls out. And what I mean by crawl is his legs are tied to his head with barbed wire, so the only thing he can move are his arms. So he's like
dragging himself on the ground, doing like aggressive tongue flicks. Just like even making the noise too. Crawling at, and his legs are bent in such a way that when he's crawling, he's like crawling on his ass, but his legs are like facing, like
he's on his tummy.
Oh yeah, he's on his tummy.
Yeah, because his ass is up in the air. His legs are, it's like if you hogtied someone,
yeah,
their arms free.
Yeah.
And this is our choreographer for all of the monsters.
Oh, he does. It would be him, just doing like that.
Because he talks about it, he's like, you know, I'm trying to make this obscene character, but the only thing I can really move is my tongue, and so I'm just doing, and then there's a scene of him talking to the director, and he's like, okay, so you want me to do tongue motions, but not like a, and he's like, no, you can do that, and he's like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, go for it.
That's so funny.
He just gets super aggressive with his tongue. This is the first time we see him, but it's not the only monster he plays.
Ooh.
Yes. The way this effect was achieved as well as they did a full body cast of him. So those are actually, they're casts of his legs that they then attached at the hip onto his back.
Yeah.
And then he's got green screen pants on.
Makes sense.
So he's wiggling. It was really fun to watch the scene without with the green screen pants, because you can see his legs like moving behind him and he kind of looks more like a snake. He reaches out and touches the wall, and it's like this infection that spreads along it. This weird veiny yellow pus, and then the redness of the wall that's just rushing towards her.
It's gross.
She runs from the janitor. This is the janitor, by the way. And
Why? Because he's in the bathroom?
no, he is just legitimately the janitor of the school.
Oh. And he's just like fucked up.
Do you not remember why he's fucked up?
No, I do. Well, I do.
Okay.
Listen, man, it's all...
Look, man, you're tired, so I can't tell if you're just like actually can't remember or if you're making a point for the audience.
No, I don't even fucking know anymore. A little bit of both, I think.
But yes, he's the janitor who was cleaning the bathroom.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yes, because I forgot that there was the whole... I'm not gonna give you work to cut out, but
The thing
you know
later.
what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm.
She runs from the janitor, passing rooms, passes a hallway drenched in... She passes bodies that are like disfigured, hanging upside down in cages, then passes a hall where there are humanoid naked people screaming as they are trying to pull off hundreds of these giant fucking cockroaches attacking them that are like eating them, and it's drenched in cockroaches. You cannot see the floor or the walls or any part that is building. It is all feet deep in roaches.
They're like terrier-sized roaches.
When I say giant roaches, I mean they look like cephalopods.
Yeah.
They are freaking huge.
Maybe terrier's a little too big, but they're big.
Teacup poodle, maybe bigger.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. Yeah, they're just... Ooh.
They're too big.
Like Nerf football size.
We get another Kevin McAllister type mic breaking scream from Rose. Not that her scream sounds like Kevin McAllister. It's just the way that the mic peaks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so specific.
She runs into a fenced-in dead end, then looks over, and there's this weird industrial catwalk type area in this... it's really just dreamlike, of just things existing where they shouldn't exist, and everything is kind of normal building, then turns very industrial, where she gives herself like a little pep talk and runs across it, trying to break into... There's a hole in the fence that she's trying to break into, and you get this glimpse of someone, this little girl at a desk, and then you get a full view of this girl, dirty, dark hair in her face, in a schoolgirl uniform, scribbling out these beautifully colored drawings, just in black crayon, obviously. Rose makes eye contact with her, who does look like Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
And
falls
Rose,
backwards.
Yep, falls into the gap in the fence. We get this cut of Chris and Gucci wearing masks, looking around the school for Sharon and Rose. Cuts, and these...
I don't know if those types of masks are gonna help.
That's exactly what I thought. Because they are like painter, not even like a respirator. It's like the like dirt masks.
Yeah.
That you would wear for pulling weeds if you're allergic to the weed, or just
just don't want to breathe in all the dust that's coming up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's not an what is it, N95, it's not a respirator, it's not anything helpful. And we all live through COVID, so
this is not,
this isn't a COVID safe
this
mask.
This is one of those white masks that you see construction workers wear.
Yep.
Thank God we were on the same page. Especially because the cop was like, dude, you gotta, like, at one point, he's like, you gotta put your mask on. It's like, first of all, you smoke. Second of all...
Yeah, no, the whole mechanic made it out being like, oh, if you're up there too long, you'll, like, insta-die, right? Like, you can't be bringing in all those fumes. And so for them to go up there without... You would think it would at least be, like, the painter masks that have little respirators on them, not a full-up, like, oxygen thing,
if
but
it's fumes
something.
You're worried about, yeah.
Yeah. Not Not these little flimsy guys you can go buy from Walmart for $5 for a 40-pack.
I don't even know how well those masks work for asbestos. Probably fine because,
It's bigger
construction
particles,
workers use
yeah.
it. But yeah, because they're not like, whatever.
I don't know. I think it'd be fine because I feel like you also use it for like working on insulation, like those kinds of. So I think for like larger particles it works. But
I think for insulation, people use like the fucking respirators. You know what I mean?
not that it's important. It's just a weird. It's a point they make that, especially here in a second, where the cop is saying you need to put your mask back on. It would not work for these kinds of carbon monoxide fumes, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Rose has fallen onto a, again, metal industrial looking floor. It's raining heavily, and we get our first glimpse of the Red Pyramid, which you guys probably know him better as Pyramid Head, who's wading through his own little horde of roaches, dragging his giant sword and in one hand and a miner in the other hand. And now, fun fact about the giant weapon Pyramid Head uses. Did you know it was originally supposed to be giant scissors?
Makes sense. Because it's almost like one half of a pair of scissors.
It is. It's supposed to be half of one of the scissors, and this again plays into the fact why a lot of people were upset about Pyramid Head being in this, because when you were playing James in the second game, he was eventually supposed to get the other half of the scissor, because they're supposed to show like the duality of James as a character. The creator who made that chunk unfortunately wasn't able to complete the set of scissors, so James actually ends up just getting Pyramid Head sword at one point. Yeah. I also think it's a fun fact because I think giant scissors are a really fun weapon.
Yeah, 100%.
Rose runs, and between this scene is we get cuts back and forth from Rose running from Pyramid Head and Chris in the same area with Gucci looking for her in the quote-unquote real world, right? It's like he can sense her. He's looking around to where she should be. He's glancing like, damn, like, I feel like she's here. At one point, he's like, I smelled her perfume. And that's where the cop says, you need to put your mask on. He's like looking in his eyes. He's like, we gotta get out of here. This is not good. You didn't see her. She's not here. I don't know what's going on. Rose's flashlight starts flickering and goes out. She runs from one area into the other area, runs through the door that Chris and Gucci came in through, and they watch it open in their version of Silent Hill, but she's obviously not there. She runs into where she was kind of earlier with these lockers and just slides to the floor crying because what the fuck are you gonna do against Pyramid Head?
Yeah, in previous episodes when I've talked about like what I would do in some of these situations, not all the situations, but in plenty of the situations that we've covered in plenty of the movies, this is exactly what I would do. Because I just feel such an immense level of dread that I don't think my body would know what to do.
For this specific scene, I could not because of the roaches. I could not lay on the floor. I would be running until my legs gave out. I hate creepy
That's
crawlies.
fair. I think for this specific instance, I would get to a certain point where the bugs would not be, and then do that.
Because they're encroaching upon her. A bright light shines on her as she is dragged away into this weird closet that only has a door and a fan. And, oh, look, it's Sybil, who's alive and just saved her from that. She's holding the door closed, while these roaches just pound on it, just like their weight of it, trying to bust this door open. She screams at Rose to get a pipe, and Rose is struggling with her handcuffed hands to get the pipe so they can block the door with it, put it on the handles. She unlocks Rose's cuffs as they hear the sound of metal on metal coming closer, which is Pyramid Head's giant scissor sword dragging on the ground, because this thing is heavy even for this giant 7 foot 25% larger man, who is also our choreographer.
Kind of figured.
He is in the tallest boots I've ever fucking seen. I think they're like 15 inches.
Damn.
They are huge. They put metal brackets on his ankles to make sure his ankles were very nice and protected.
That's good.
He, again, I mentioned this earlier, Pyramid Head is not wearing any underwear. the director would not allow him to, so his little patootie is his.
Sorry, I just
No, I was letting you write it out. Don't apologize.
like something about the way women talk about men's butts, just so specific,
Mhm.
and like I don't know, it's very akin to like the "I'm not cute, I'm manly as hell" kind of thing, but like women are just like, "Oh, look at that little tush." It's like I don't know why it fucking. Oh God, I don't know, bro.
The effects for getting Pyramid Head all dressed up are insane too, because he's got all of the prosthetics to bulk him up to make him look tall, but also bulky. And then he's naked with these boots on, and art department had to come up with these fleshy overlays for the black boots that you don't see because of his smock, his like fleshy smock that covers it anyways.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
The pyramid helmet original design, like for the game, was inspired by tanks. So it's supposed to be that very sharp, angular, destructive looking metal.
Mm-hmm.
They had to work very hard on making it light enough to be worn.
Yeah.
But also look like metal. The same thing with the giant sword. It's fun because they did such a good job on that one, and the way the choreographer, God, I can't, his last name's Roberto, I think? Roberto Campanella?
The way he wields it is, he makes it look heavy as fuck.
He makes it look so heavy, and I saw a scene with the director holding it, and he's just like, waving it around like it's nothing.
Yeah.
When he just, the way he moves with it is so good, and he did say that he like played the game and studied the movements to figure out how Pyramid Head would move with it.
I love it.
They all talk about it. A lot of the actors talk about how they watched the gameplay. I believe it was the person who played the Gray Child was said that she went on every single fan forum trying to really, it was either her, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't her, it was the chick who plays Dahlia, who said that she wanted to embody the character. She wanted to look at this character from the fans' POV to make sure like what she portrayed was good. This scene specifically, and this is why I'm going to bring it up now, they did so many of their own stunts. Sybil and Rose, they worked with a stunt coordinator, and for a lot of scenes they had a stunt double, but then they were doing the work and were like, can we do it? Can we just do it instead?
Yeah.
So this scene is done by them. So what happens here is that Sybil pulls out her gun and is pointing it at the door while Rose is like, oh fuck, it's him. The sword slides through the door like you're just can opening it. Just fucking slides in and cuts sideways, and it's so close to them. And these are the actors doing this scene. So at this speed, too. So what they ended up doing is they did it, slammed the sword through, right? At half, a fourth of the speed to get the movement down to show the actresses where the sword was going to go, and then they ramped it up. And then they ramped it up, and then they ramped it up until it was the speed they wanted it to be at. And the actress who plays Sybil was like, it was this close to me. Like, I had to move at the right time, otherwise we were gonna have a fucking problem.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The actress who says Rose was like, it was just a game of limbo for me. I don't know if you see it, but I just all the time under the sword.
That's great.
So I just thought it was so cool that they ended up doing a lot of their own stunts and just loving it too.
Yeah.
Can open her through the door. Sorry, I got sidetracked in the...
No, you're fine.
That he then Pyramid Head pulls his sword out and then sticks his hand in and reaches down to try and grab the pipe, and Sybil's just shooting at him, just trying to get him to get off of it. When the roaches start dying, he pulls away and everything fades back to the foggy, quote-unquote, normal that they've come to know. And instead of being a weird industrial fan room, it's a normal school room with a giant still industrial fan in it. Question mark?
Yeah. Oh.
Sybil is now freaking out because she's like, what the fuck was that? What is happening? And Rose tells her, girl, you gotta chill. I gotta find my daughter, so we gotta keep our heads about us. I told you about this earlier. Come on. And I think it's just so... She's already just like, I'm over it. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get with the times.
Like, we gotta go.
She goes on about how she knows that Sharon is probably in the hotel, given the key, the broken thing she pulls out, which just says hotel, but the name is broken off. Rose then comforts Sybil, being like, hey, it's okay. And it's just such a weird, I don't know, scene for her to kind of just even have this motherly instinct for Sybil, who they're like the same age, but she's still like, hey, you got this, you're good. Pep talk her up into this scene that they're about to do, like not scene, but the horror they're about to go into. She's just confirming that Sybil's got this.
Yeah.
Back in the quote-unquote real world, Gucci escorts Chris back to his car where he's telling him not to try anything, that the cops are going to be here all night looking for his family. And Chris accuses him of not explaining everything, or not explaining the whole truth. And Gucci's like, just let it lie, dude. It's fine. Go home. On his drive, he calls the town archivist looking for police records, but the woman's like, yo, those are confidential. I can't help you. And he starts screaming at her, and she just keeps saying, I can't help you, and hangs up on him. Fuck you for being mean to a civil worker who's just trying to do their fucking job.
Yeah.
Sybil and Rose wander through the town to the Grand Hotel, where Sybil explains that they used to say this place was haunted. And then a woman starts screaming, and they say, probably right. Inside, Dahlia is getting yelled at and stones thrown at her by Anna. Rose and Sybil intervene, saying Delilah is a woman who also lost her daughter, which Anna responds with, sinners deserve to lose their spawn, which is a wild line.
Yeah.
And mother needs more food. Christabella keeps them safe, and they take refuge in the church. Christabella is an OG character for the movie. She does not exist in the games. This is another point of contention, because a lot of what she does should have been Dahlia. Dahlia is actually the main, antagonist in the game. So this
I didn't even know that.
It's where things kind of start diverging here, with kind of making Dahlia a more sympathetic character than the abusive fuck she was in the game. Sybil starts looking around the hotel entryway lobby while Rose is asking Anna if she's seen Sharon, and about there's the cross symbols on the ground again, and Anna says, the elders of my elders built this. It's a symbol of our unity, of our faith. Sybil ends up finding a hotel key that looks like Rose's, saying they're all over the floor, and she opens the cabinet, which is, I guess, where mail or things would have gone, like that kind of stuff would have gone, where in the slot for room 111 there's a drawing that looks like it could be Sharon's. So Rose obviously says we need to go up to room 111. Chris breaks into the archivist's office back in the real world. You want to guess which boxes are the Silent Hill ones? Is it the ones that are all burned and decrepit right there, just waiting for the picking? Maybe.
No, probably.
He finds one that has... He finds a police report that has Gucci's name on it for an A. Gillespie. Looking through it, he finds lots of photos, a police record, and then a photo that looks exactly like Sharon. And as he's on the phone calling the orphanage where they adopted Sharon from, he looks at the note at the bottom of the photo that explains who this person is, A. Gillespie. The date the crime happened, November 1st, 1974. The crime, kidnapping and assault. And where? The Grand Hotel, room 111. So you're kind of just getting the story from two angles of the quote-unquote real world and then the not real world, or the Silent Hill world, however you really want to split it up. And it's just unnecessary because it starts feeling like a foon speeding, and because we know the producers wanted more
Foon speeding.
Yep, foon speeding.
Sorry.
Spoon feeding. No, please call me out on my shit.
This is gonna be a long episode.
Yeah,
we still got a bit left.
we still have 2 pages left.
Yeah, we gotta.
We haven't even tangented that much.
I know, we gotta
go.
Yeah,
It's 2 hours in.
we gotta get this going. Just fucking power through it. We don't even have to go into depth about all the shit with C and Bean.
You see,
We'll be fine.
back with the women, they are looking for room 111. Anna is following them, saying they are wandering too far from the refuge. Sybil looks at Rose, who's just like, are we gonna keep her? And Sybil shrugs, saying, we gotta keep her with us. She's all we got, really. It's fine. They get to the area where room 11 should be, but they only see room 113. There is a painting of a woman burning, where Anna says, that's the first burning. The burning, like, they're burning the witch. In burning the witches held back the darkness, which held back the apocalypse. So, doomsday cult. Got it. We're getting there. Rose uses, she stole a knife from Anna earlier that Anna was wielding, and it's like a kitchen knife. She uses that to rip through the painting, saying this is where it is, and behind the painting there is a little corridor that goes to room 111. In that room, there is a hole in the wall, which is this whole scene is very video game-esque, where Sybil jumps through first and then holds her hand out to Rose to jump across as well, and then they just leave Anna to jump across by herself, who kind of just stumbles in. They wander the building where a little girl then runs above them somewhere. Rose runs ahead, going up the stairs, leaving Sybil and Anna behind to wonder where the hell she went. Up there is a circular hole with beams crossing it, which is keeping Rose from getting to the little girl who is across the way crying. And this scene is mostly done by the actress who plays Rose, who's doing wire work for the first time. Jumping across from beam to beam, again, feels like a quick time moment in a video game to jump across. She almost falls, catching herself, having to pull herself up to get to where the girl is, where it cuts down to Sybil hearing her fall and almost, fall through the hole. Seeing the stairs, her and Anna run up the stairs, while Rose finally gets to behind the girl who is crying. She's in a dirty purple schoolgirl dress. As she turns around, she's looking pale as fuck.
Pale as fuck.
Pale as fuck.
She's fucking pale, ain't she?
Might as well be. She walks towards Rose, and Rose is like, holy fuck, you could be her twin. Are you Alessa? And where is Shannon?
Sharon.
I even chugged. You guys watched me drink my soda pop on screen.
Oh, it's fine. It's just like after a certain point in recording, it's like hard to keep it together.
We just talk a lot. I guess I'm not used to talking for like 2 hours straight, and that's all we do in here. Yeah. Shannon. Where
Sharon.
is Sharon? Sharon! Fuck!
Shannon, where is Sharon?
Sharon.
Who's Shannon?
Alessa turns around to her fully, spreading her arms wide, saying, look, I'm burning, and then catches on fire and disappears.
Yeah.
Sybil comes in, the action hero she is, pulling on this freaking wire thing from the sky and, like, testing its weight, and swings it over to Rose, saying, swing back on it, I've got you. Just has her swing across, and it's like, what were you even doing over there? Rose explains that Alessa is the one who brought them here, the one who made her crash her car, all that kind of stuff. Anna says, they don't say her name, like Voldemort style. Sybil looks around the hole where birds fly out when Anna says they have to leave, the darkness is coming, and just runs away from them, leaving them behind. The sirens go off. They need to run for the church, so they follow Anna and get to the outside the hotel, back onto the main street, when Anna says they need to make it to the church, and then the sirens go off.
Yeah.
The stairs up to the church are wild, in this big, like, monolith type stairs. Jesus. Rose stops at the bottom of them, staring up at this church, recognizing it from one of Sharon's drawings. Sybil stops halfway up the stairs, saying, Rose, we gotta go. We gotta go now. And Anna's like, girl, we gotta get inside. What are you doing? A horde of people then rush up, trying to also get into the church. Sybil goes down the rest of the stairs to grab Anna. Dahlia shows up at this point, telling Sybil... So Dahlia is actually leaving the church. She's not going up the stairs, she's coming down them. She catches Sybil telling her to not join the others. They are deceivers. They're wolves in the skin of sheep. Anna throws a rock at her.
Yeah.
Rose corners Dahlia. I keep writing Delilah, but it's Dahlia. About Alessa and how that's Dahlia's daughter. Why did she bring them here? Poor Sybil is still just trying to get them into the church. And is like, girl, can we just stop asking weird questions? Can we just get to safety? The darkness comes, and with them... The darkness comes with them outside the church. Dahlia points at Anna, and Red Pyramid manifests behind her, grabbing her by the throat before...
This is brutal.
It's so brutal. So he grabs her by the throat while Sybil and Rose get into the church, and so as they're closing the door, he rips Anna's clothes off, just instantly rips them all off, and then she's hanging in the sky naked, and then he twists the flesh on her chest, and then rips her off, skinning her in one go.
Yeah. And then he, like...
tosses it at the door.
Tosses it.
And they
the
get all
door,
splattered in blood.
Yeah, it's rough.
A lot of people say this is... the movie was too gory for a Resident Evil movie. Or, I'm sorry, not a Resident Evil, a Silent Hill movie. I think this is the goriest scene.
Yeah.
Besides...
It is the goriest scene.
Well, there's the one thing that happens later. With the barbed wire.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll leave it up to you listeners to decide.
So, I don't think it's too gory. I talked to my brother about it, too, just because he's such a big fan. I was like, hey, did you have a problem with anything in the movie? Is there anything you think...
It's not like you see her flayed, necessarily. Like, you
see the flesh.
Well, you see the twist, and then, like...
The
but, like,
rip.
you don't see her without any skin. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
That would fuck you up more. I think that would be even more gruesome. Like, you don't even see everything necessarily.
No, I don't know. Like, I gotta try to put myself back in the mindset of 2006, because I feel like I'm very desensitized to a lot of this stuff now with newer movies. So I asked my brother if he thought the movie was too gory comparatively, because he's also played all of the games and I haven't. Mm-hmm. And he said no. There wasn't really anything he had a problem with. It really captured the spirit of it. And I actually think he rewatched it today because I was talking about it to him about it today. And he was like, I don't remember it being gory, but I'll have to double check, rewatch it to see. And I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as movies nowadays.
No.
It's pretty tame.
Bro, we watched The Terrifier 3 together.
That's exactly what I was thinking of when I said not as bad as some movies. The whole room, the whole congregation in here starts screaming witches, burn the witches. They start pawing at Rose. One of them rips off her locket necklace. Sybil shoots her gun in the sky to get them to stop. And you notice, I don't know if you notice, but she lowers her gun down. It's empty. And she locks it back into place, sticking it in her holster. But you can see it cock back, just empty.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. This is where Christabella comes in, saying, this is a sanctuary. And as Sybil puts her gun away, Anna's mother, Lorraine, I think is her name? Not Laurie. Laurie? No.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. I think they say it once. Anna's mother is like, these two witches, these deceivers, they lured my little girl outside and let her die, or fed her to the fiend. Christabella comes back with, Anna went against our laws. She went out there by herself. She's not the responsibility of these weird strangers. Sorry, girl. Let's pray. I didn't know how to describe this except an inverted diocese. Dice? How do you say that word?
I don't know.
D-A-I-S. The, like, altar, the raised... It's generally a raised platform where rituals happen on. Theirs is inverted, so it's a lowered platform, kind of like a conversation pit, but not as deep. in the center where they kneel and pray, and she does a this jujitsu motion, Naruto style, with holding her hands together, but her pointer fingers are up. And she will say a phrase, pause, and the congregation will repeat it back to her. Anyone, and it goes on for a while, the only thing I really caught was the ending, where anyone's name not found in the book will be thrown into the lake of fire. Oh, yeah, will be bathed in a lake of fire when the whole hall is, like, bathed in this bright-ass fucking light, like, doing the reverse. We've seen a lot of fade-outs, and instead this is, like, whiting out.
Mm-hmm.
It cuts to the orphanage where Sister Margaret says a prayer with the girls before she sends them to bed, talking to Chris outside the room. He shows Sister the photo of Alessa, which he stole, he's trying to get her to be like, is this my daughter's birth mom? What is happening? Why does she look just like my daughter? What is going, like, why won't you tell me anything? And she's like, I can't just release records of our people. Like, that's against stuff, I guess.
It's the rule.
I was gonna say HIPAA, but I don't think that's the proper one. It's against something. He keeps on pushing, and he says it's not just her story to tell, it's all of theirs. He gets aggressive, like grabbing her wrist or her arms, when Gucci comes up the stairs saying, damn, bro, what you got yourself into? Breaking and entering, and now it looks like assault. He arrests him on the spot and takes him to a different part of the orphanage to tell him the story of Silent Hill, and kind of not the full story, just some things are better left dead, or some things don't always die. And he takes off his gloves to show scarred palms. I don't really know why, to show that he lived through the fire. I don't know the significance of that.
Yeah.
Or if there is one, because again, this is the subplot that no one cares about. He calls Chris a city boy, saying he would never understand, and he's got two choices: either go home or go to jail. He would like Chris to go home because he will deal with his town and what has been happening for the past 30 years. Christabella takes Rose and Sybil up to, I want to say the pulpit, but that's not it. It's like above where the congregation meets, asking how they got there. She asks if Rose is a woman of faith, or how they got there. Rose asks if it matters. Christabella asks if she's a woman of faith. And again, none of that matters. And Christabella says only the demon knows where your girl is. And is kind of speaking nonsense to a point where Sybil's like, she's not going to help us, let's just go. Christabella explains that the demon is in the heart of the darkness and no one has ever returned. She says maybe their faith will protect them, or maybe it won't. So she looks at Rose when she says maybe your faith will protect you, and then looks at Sybil saying, or maybe it won't. I almost said Sharon again. Rose tells Sybil if she doesn't want to do this, she doesn't have to, as these guys start suiting up as miners, like putting on all this protective gear. That even though Sharon, this is where, like, we for sure learn, even though Sharon is adopted, Rose is still her mother. She's known that from the moment she laid eyes on her. Sybil says she's lucky to have you as a mother, and that in the eyes of a child, a mother is God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is a wild thing, but like breaking,
it's not far off.
No, like breaking it down, right? Like mom's usually the one who feeds you, clothes you, bathes you, birthed you.
Well, and there's even when you are a very, very young child, there is something instinctually that you just know, that is my mom. That is like the person.
Yeah, you go to mom for everything.
That is the person.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that the person? I don't know. I just know that mom is the person.
Yeah.
Like,
again, broad strokes here being.
Well, yeah. I mean, like in the words of a fucking 6-year-old,
mm-hmm.
It'd be even more basic than that.
But like, yeah, whenever I was sick, I always wanted my mom. Yeah. Whenever anything was like that, I was like, mom. Until I got older, and then my mom stopped answering my phone calls, and I was like, I would never call my mom. She will never answer.
Yeah.
Now she gets mad when I don't call her, and I was like, maybe I would call you more if you answered me when I was 20. Christabella, as they're walking, so Christabella doesn't don the miner gear, only these 4 men do. They walk out of the church led by Christabella, who pockets the locket that was laying in front of the entryway, tailed by Rose and Sybil. They take her, they make their way through foggy Silent Hill, so it's not the darkness anymore, to the school, where Christabella shows them the map and tells them to memorize it because it could save their lives. And she shows her basement sublevel, like 143 or some shit, like the lowest level where the demon, quote unquote, domain is. She's in the bowels of the building, hiding behind the innocent, meaning she's hiding behind a child. Rose is whispering to herself, trying to remember the map, when Sybil says, "She's killing you." And Rose is just like, I have to do this. And Sybil backs off. "You're not coming between a mom and her kid." That's all I gotta say. The guys break open this elevator shaft, putting a pipe in between it to hold it open. They explain that if the demon wants to see them, then the elevator will work. Otherwise, it won't. One of the guys hands Rose a flashlight, saying they'll be drawn to the light, but you won't be able to see without it. Christabella pulls out the locket from her pocket, saying, "Sorry, I've lived as a scavenger so long, I believe this belongs to you." When the locket opens and notices that in it is the face of Alessa, so she points at Rose, saying, "Witch, burn them." Sybil, again, such a fucking badass, beats the shit out of these miners, pushing Rose into the elevator. The actress talks about too that she like physically beat the shit out of her arms in the scene, like scraped up her arm because of what the miners were wearing versus what she's wearing.
Yeah.
Like she got beat up.
Damn.
She, as soon as Rose is in the elevator, she pulls out her gun, pointing at them, and turns around to look at Rose and says, "Go get her," grabs the pipe, holding the elevator open, and brings it out, slamming the elevator shut. And just like the coolest fucking moment.
It's so good.
Oh, I could talk forever about Sybil.
Mm-hmm.
She points the gun at everybody. The elevator does turn on as Sybil's holding the gun and just drops, which is my worst nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
As it full speed falls through this building. Sybil points the gun at Christabella and pulls, but it's empty. The men then surround her, attacking her, beating the shit out of her because it's 4 against 1 now. They're prepared for her. She falls to the floor while Rose is falling in the elevator. Back to Sybil, who has blood coming out of her mouth, barely breathing, mostly dead. Christabella nods, and then we don't watch it happen, but the camera pans up as they're just bringing down these makeshift weapons, just beating her presumably to death.
Mm-hmm.
The elevator doors open, and Rose works her way through the halls, remembering right, left, and did you notice that it's the Konami code?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, they put in that little Easter egg. Until she comes across the hall with the 20 nurses in it, who are all frozen until they start crackling to life as she points the light at them. They move in this weird uniform, out of sync way that all feels correct but not at the same time. And when she turns the light off, they stop. She backs away a little, saying she can do this, and she like moves through the horde, but they still kind of crackle to life, almost like sniffing the air of where she is. And all of the nurses are dancers. So that original scene where they kind of all drop with their heads, just, it's so good.
It's so good. This is like one of the best scenes.
They did such a good job on all of the nurses, and all of the latex nursing outfits being skin tight and everyone looking so identical but not at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
She maneuvers her way through the horde, the laser beams, ducking here and ducking there. Rose dodges just in time as they call her the red nurse for the credits, slashes at her, which would have slit her throat, but instead it slits another nurse's throat, and then it turns into an all-out brawl as they all start fighting and slashing at each other. She turns the flashlight on as she's able to skedaddle out of the middle of the horde and places it at the end of the hall to where they all gather and descend on the light, giving her time to escape around the corner and open the door at the end of the hall. where a child's voice welcomes her, telling her, your reward, you get the truth. And this is a white blinding room again. And we get this like film strip horizontally across that flashbacks to Alyssa being bullied for a witch because she didn't have a father like the other girls did. Alyssa was alone in the world, and we get this, what's the saying? And do you know what happens to little girls who are alone? And she locks herself into the bathroom to cry where the janitor is, and heavily implied rape, which is why the janitor was all fucked up in the stall. And
Yeah. 'Cause he got what he deserved.
Yep. And it does also show like a name on his janitor outfit that says Colin, and then in the stall you also see that.
Okay.
So
I didn't even see the name.
Yeah, it just links it a little bit more, so you know for sure. The voice continues, her mother loved her, but no one else did. Christabella is the driving force to restore innocence and purity. They took Alyssa to the hotel where they separated mom and daughter, saying they fight sin, not the sinner. Ugh. And Alyssa gets taken into the room by herself, where Christabella tells Dahlia, do not weep for the demon. And the voice continues as we're like seeing these scenes, saying you should be careful for how you fight evil. Your weapons can turn back on you. As they're roasting her alive above this coal pit basin thing, and their giant symbol comes crashing down and knocking it over and spilling ash or coal everywhere and setting things on fire, and it's a hectic moment.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Dahlia left, like she runs out of the hotel, comes back with help, but it's too late. Alyssa was lonely and scared and burnt to a crisp, but as they put her on a gurney, she's wheezing and still kind of breathing, but you can't even tell it's her anymore. She has no flesh left. Her hair is burned off. She's scarred up, and the ends with like the voiceover ends with fear and pain turns to hate, and hate changes the world. Alessa's voice comes back in, so there's this Alessa, this dark Alessa, the one with the dirty face and the long black hair in her face, saying, that's when I come in. It was their turn. It would all fall into her darkest dreams. So we're getting this scene of Alessa in a hospital bed, surrounded by a white curtain with a little peephole thing so people could look in, and there's this nurse with brown and blonde hair in a red cardigan who just is curious and looks in to see what Alyssa looks like and recoils by how horrible she looks. So this dark Alyssa comes up and looks through the peephole as well and presses her hand against the plastic, and as Alyssa touches her hand against it, the whole hospital bed erupts into the first iteration of the darkness of Silent Hill.
Like the rot and the like everything kind of like flaking away.
And so the scene turns from blinding light into the rotted up, burned up hospital room with the nurse with her back towards Rose, softly weeping.
So creepy.
Oh, yeah, and as Rose goes to the side the nurse is on, she quickly moves to the other side, going behind like this weird partition to cry by herself.
Without revealing her face at all. Yeah. Like, it's very unsettling because she like goes out of her way to not show her face.
Yeah, it's super creepy. She looks into the hospital bed where burned Alessa still is, when dark Alessa, who's child still, because burned Alyssa in the bed is very much a full-ass adult now. She's at least 30 years old. Dark Alyssa says, don't be afraid. This is Alessa and she needs help. Rose asks what she is, and this thing says right now, or I'm Alyssa, I'm the dark part of her. Sharon is what's left of Alyssa's goodness, explaining that she's not actually your daughter. She's still Alessa, she's just the good part. We left her at the orphanage, and now, or for 30 years, they lied to their souls and denied their fate. Now it's the end of days. They crave satisfaction. They want revenge. And Rose asks why her. Well, she chose Sharon. Dark Alessa continues to explain that Christabella plans on cleansing Sharon, and all Rose has to do is tell them the truth. Dark Alessa hugs her and then, like, absorbs into her body. And while that's happening, we finally see the nurse's face, who is... her eyes are all clawed, and she's got all these red streak marks down her face, and they're, like, she's crying blood, and then the eyes do, like, that white milky thing, like, the blindness. Sharon is asleep in I believe it's one of the hotel rooms, when miners break in. Dahlia comes in from a different room screaming, "The child is mine." Sharon hides behind the bed and the table, and Christabella comes in after, like, the miners kind of get Dahlia under control, saying, "I knew it would be you, just like I knew you would hold her." I don't know. Just saying she knew exactly what was going to happen. Cops drive Chris and his car to the edge of town to make him go away, so I guess he chose going home over being in jail. He threatens to bring people who know what they're actually doing as he tries to get in his car, but Detective Gucci grabs his car so he can't grabs the car door so he can't close it, and explains why Sybil is so amazing. The year ago or wherever, when that kid got kidnapped, she fell in after him and held him together until they were found for 3 days. She kept him alive until they were found. So, no, they know exactly what they're doing. Which, yes, Sybil very much knows what she's doing. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
At the church, people are screaming, "Burn the witch," while they are building a pyre in the little inverted diocese. Whatever. Dahlia is screaming about not killing not killing Sharon. Sybil is tied to a ladder some 40 fucking feet in the air, telling Sharon to not be scared that her mom is in the way while she's beat the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just strapped to this ladder, which they took from inspiration from a, 1800s ladder in Germany. They took a lot of inspiration. Again, the set building was phenomenal.
Yeah, really good.
How they did everything was so good. "We burn the child, we fight the demon," cries Christabella, as Sybil screams about her being a child and what's wrong with them and why are you listening to this crazy woman? "Those who aid the demon must be cleansed by the fire from whence they came." Christabella lights the pyre, and they start lowering Sybil at this, like, angle where it goes. So they don't drop the ladder on there. They do, like, a 45-degree angle, so she slowly roasts before she catches fire fully, and you watch her skin start burning away before she fully catches.
And dies.
As Sharon's screaming watching this happen.
Yeah.
Once Sybil is dead, they return the ladder back to, like, they pull it back up so it's leaning against the other wall, and then they tie Sharon to the other ladder that is directly across her so they can do the same thing to her. Rose busts in. Some man, like, slaps her across the face, and she keeps going. She's screaming blasphemy to them, right? "No one can save you. There's no apocalypse. You're all damned," and she's too scared to tell you.
She's like, "I came from the outside world, and it's, like, full of life, and
the world didn't end."
Yeah.
Someone punches her, and they start screaming to burn her. Rose comes back with, "That's all you do is you burn things you can't understand." Christabella says, like, explains Alessa that she was sin incarnate, but doesn't really explain why, except that her dad was. It's insinuated, I don't know, like, that she was a child out of wedlock or something, and so that's why she's sin. It's not really explained. In the game, Dahlia uses Alessa as a vessel to summon the cult's god, which obviously didn't happen here, but, like, so that's the whole, like, she's an actual demon incarnate, and there's a whole thing about, like, I think the god where the demon like died inside of Alessa or wasn't raised properly, so Alessa's actually abomination because she didn't do the one thing she was supposed to do. It's a little murky for me when it comes to this whole chunk of the lore.
Yeah.
Rose goes on about how you're alone in this limbo and God isn't here. Christabella stabs her, and then like stabs Rose in right under the clavicle, and then drops the knife, holding up her hands in surrender, being like she was a blasphemy, making sure her congregation doesn't turn on her because Rose be speaking truth, and Christabella doesn't like it. Her blood drops on, like a single blood drop from the blade drops on the ground, and you just see it kind of spark the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes dark. Then lanterns are lit and flashlights are turned on, and from her wound, Rose is just spewing blood into the inverted diocese. I'm just gonna say it both ways every time.
Yep.
Which then crumbles like acid has been moved onto it, and it actually turns into that pit that Sharon saw at the start when she was looking into the water below. Her wound heals and her blood enters back into her body. And she stands, I love this scene, she stands in front of the burning witch motif that is around the corner, and it looks like there's this fire burning behind her as she's kind of like reborn into this different person. And barbed wire just shoots out from this hole, raising the hospital bed with it and tilting it so Alessa can see the whole congregation as barbed wire just starts encompassing everyone like vines and just starts ripping them to shreds. What a time to yawn.
Yeah.
The barbed wire grabs Christabella and yoinks her into the sky. And as you look in the pit, Alessa is climbing a ladder coming out of it. The barbed wire goes through Christabella's vagoob into her lady bits.
Yeah, it spreads her legs and goes up.
And then you see it
also
like
goes through her mouth.
Yeah, well, you see it like spurt through her stomach and then out her mouth, and then it just totally rips her apart in half.
Yep.
Which is the other gory scene we were talking about.
Yep.
So between this and the skinning of Anna are the two goriest things.
Crazy shit.
The congregation are all like banging on the door trying to leave, while Rose fights against them to go up to the balcony to get Sharon where there are two other guys. She punches one of them, fights one of them, gets him out of the way, and then while the second one comes at him, Alessa smiles over at her and just destroys him with barbed wire. Disintegrates this dude. The sun rises. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Dahlia is looking at her daughter, saying, "What have you become?" Dahlia walks through the carnage while Rose finally saves Sharon from the ladder, hugging her close and holding her, like, falling to the ground and holding her against the wall, telling her not to look, to keep her eyes shut. Which she doesn't. She peeks, obviously, and dark Alessa staring into her eyes, just point blank staring at her. The sun rises in the empty church. Sharon looks shell-shocked when you pull away. Her eyes are just wide, staring at nothing. Dahlia is on the stairs. She asks why didn't Alessa take her as well, and Rose reiterates, "You're her mother. Mother is God in the eyes of a child." They get back to the car. They like travel whole way back to the car where the car still is. Sharon lays down in the back of the seat to kind of sleep. She's sucking on her thumb a little bit. The car takes a second, but it does eventually turn over and starts, and she turns it around, starts driving towards the edge of the map, and she drives off the cliff, but instead of driving off the cliff, a road manifests, and she just continues on.
That's such a cool effect, too.
Oh, dude, they did such a good job. She calls her home to talk to Chris, who was showering. He runs downstairs as the answering machine goes off, and he can't really fucking hear anything that Rose is saying, so we get this cut back and forth from Rose telling him, "We're on our way home, I've got her," to Chris being on the phone being like trying to listen through all the static but can't hear anything. They drive out of town. Everything is super, super foggy still. They drive past the gas station and it's foggy and still empty. They get home where Chris, from Chris's POV, is sleeping on the couch and sunlight is streaming in and there's no fog. But as soon as we go back to Rose's POV, everything's foggy and Chris isn't on the couch where he should be sleeping and everything is empty. She sits down on a chair looking at the couch where Chris should be, just staring. Sharon wanders to the back door, looking out. Chris wakes up, runs to the front door, where it's wide open, but there's no Jeep, no car, no family, and it fades to black. The end.
Oh, man. Just makes me excited to cover the next. Not that we're doing this Silent Hill 2, we're doing Silent Hill 3 next.
Yes.
But I am excited to cover the next Silent Hill movie that we're going to do.
So on Stacked, we'll be covering the third one. We're skipping over the second one because it is, though the second game is a fan favorite, the second movie is hell. Everyone hates it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm still going to watch it just to watch all three.
Honestly, yeah, it's one of those like series where you just want more from the universe, whether it's a good movie or not. Like you want to be there again.
Exactly.
Like, nobody watches Iron Man 2 because it's fucking amazing. I just like Iron Man and want to watch more Iron Man. I don't know, man.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Highly recommend, obviously, if
Highly
you're raving
recommend.
about it for 3 hours.
This movie's fucking great. Also, happy 1 year.
Happy 1 year.
Oh my God.
And to many more as we continue going forward.
See how long we can keep this up.
Yeah, and with all of the extra stuff too, because we'll be producing... I will be doing 6 to 7 videos a month because of book club. You'll be doing 5 to 6 because you don't do book club.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we want to live stream more regularly. We've got the Stacked up. I'm working with a graphic designer to get some sticker packs, hopefully, and get some little baby merch stuff going out.
Lots of good stuff in the works.
Yeah, join us on our Discord. Scream at us on Threads or Instagram. Thanks for being with us for a year, or if you just found us, thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
Give us your recommendations.
Go check out the plethora of other episodes we have.
Add this one to the list.
And add this one to the list.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Follow our Instagram and Threads at No Self Service Pod. Until next time.